Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is something a little bit different. So I thought we'd take a look at it, and this is actually a clone iPhone 12. So let's see what it looks like. Open it up here. See if we can get in here. And I have no idea what this even looks like, so let's go ahead and see what we've got. So no box, just a bunch of foam it looks like. Nothing else in there. And let's set the box aside. So there's no box here. Let's see, it looks like we've just got a phone inside. Nothing else. So let's take a look at it. And this is kind of interesting. This is not what I expected. We've got a little, looks like protective bumper here on the side. So let's see if we can remove that. It's got plastic wrapping all around it. So let's take the wrapping off. And let's take the screen protector cover off. It actually has a screen protector pre-installed with some air bubbles under it. And this is what the design of the iPhone 12 Pro Max sort of will look like. This one has 4 different cameras, which is kind of funny. And as you can see, here is the prototype for case makers, and it has 3 cameras, which is what we think the actual look will be like, with a little LiDAR hole right here and a flash. So this one is a little bit different. Along the right side edge, you've got that power sleep wake button, a SIM card tray, and it looks like even a lightning port on the bottom with a speaker and microphone, and then your volume buttons. And they definitely don't feel like Apple buttons. And then a silent switch. So nothing else. Let's take this screen protector off since it looks pretty terrible. There we go. And let's boot it up. And you can see there's some pretty huge bezels here. This is kind of funny that they actually made this way. The bezels are huge on this. Let's see if it fits in the case that's supposed to be for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And so it does fit. The button placement is wrong compared to the case. The square is a little bit wrong with the cameras. The volume buttons are a little bit wrong. So everything's a little bit off with this particular phone. The back is actually a frosted glass, so that looks pretty nice though. And it's booting up Android that says iPhone. So let's see what happens when it boots up here. And there we go. So let's go ahead and swipe up. And we have a Chinese version of iOS 14, it looks like. So let's go into settings. And it's similar. We've got general. Let me see if I can change the language of it. Now I was able to change the language so everything is legible for me anyway. Used a little translate app to do that. So you can see it looks very much like iOS. Let's go to general. Let's go to back, about. The touch is not that great. About, you'll see it says iOS 14.0. Of course, this is not iOS 14. It's Android. The swipe works. There's a little bit of a vibrate when you swipe back. Let's go back. And then again, if we scroll, we swipe up. If we swipe up and hold, we sort of get an app switcher. Let's see what the camera looks like. So we'll go into the camera, and we've got all the different modes. So we can zoom in. Let me bring in the other one here. We'll zoom in. So it zooms in just a little bit and sort of have a wide angle. Let's go to video. And this is incredibly slow, but no real options here for video. And it looks like the camera doesn't hardly even work. So if we swipe, you'll see how buggy it is. So if we swipe out, go back to the camera, maybe we'll go to photo, snap a picture, and we'll go into the photo. And everything is so slow. So we'll zoom in, and it's out of focus and looks terrible. So it's kind of comical how they've set this up. Let's go to the App Store, and it wants us to have cellular access, or wireless access. Not going to do that. Let's go into weather. You'll see what it looks like. We'll go back to gallery, and there's the photo we took. And then if we swipe over to, well, let's go into iMessage here. And so it's sort of like iMessage. And then again, we have all of our different apps. So we've got files even. And the interesting thing is they've made a fairly good clone as far as its look, but it's fairly clunky. And of course you have these huge bezels around the outside edge. Now, if we go to settings, and maybe if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we have APNs and a couple extra apps installed. Let's go to general, and the software's up to date. So it's really funny that they've got this set up this way. Let's pull down the control center, and it actually works. See, we can adjust brightness. That's as bright as the display goes, so it's not very bright at all. Bring it down, and of course, it's a generic version of an iPhone. But the one thing I do have to say is it feels pretty good in the hand. It feels very much like an iPhone 5. So where an iPhone 5 actually has these sort of chamfered edges on it, I really like that. Of course, I can't wait to get my hands on the real thing so I can see what it's like to hold. But it has this is plastic, I'm pretty sure, but the feel is actually pretty good. It's very grippy because it's not rounded and slippery, and I think it'll be pretty good. This is laughable, of course, but in general, I think it's pretty funny. Something a little bit different, and I thought I'd share that with you. Let's see if a lightning cable works with it. Now, I did plug it into a power adapter. I'm not plugging it into my computer, which is nearby, but it does work with a lightning cable. It will charge off a lightning cable, and it works. So it's a fairly convincing hardware clone as far as the way the ports are, sort of the buttons, and of course, Face ID doesn't really even exist. So if we go to settings, go down to Face ID and passcode, iPhone unlock, and get started, and you'll see it's using the forward-facing camera, and it's just sort of faking Face ID at this point. So it's just going around the circle. Hit continue. We'll set up a passcode. And this screen isn't even Retina. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pixelated. I can see the pixels in it. So if we swipe up, tap on the screen for face unlock, it unlocks. Now let's do it so it's this way. It's actually looking for a face anyway. So it's looking for my face. It won't unlock, and it wants me to put a passcode in. So that's pretty interesting. It actually looked for my face at least. But the hardware overall, if you turn the screen off and you didn't know that the bottom bezel was there, it actually feels pretty good. It's pretty large. And like I said, compared to the prototype used for case makers, of course, it looks very different. And it's similarly sized to an 11 Pro Max, for example. So here's an 11 Pro Max next to it. And the squared off edges look really nice. So I prefer the squared off look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But let me know if you want to see more of these in the comments below. I thought this was pretty interesting, and it's fairly convincing, at least the way it looks. Of course, the 4 cameras gives it away that I don't really think that's what it's going to look like, but it's something a little bit different. But let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'll link a new wallpaper for you as well in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.